Peace and greetings. It's your man DJ Battle checking in from the Foundation Podcast. And man, I hope you're enjoying the programming and sure could use your support. Hey, if you please could like, share, subscribe. Hey, if you want to make a contribution, that'll help as well. I'm trying to get these numbers up, but I can use your help. So contributions can go to Cash App at $DJ Battle 313. I'm not gonna keep y'all waiting, so let's go ahead and get to the show. Let's get it started. Welcome to the Foundation. It is yours truly, the incredible DJ Battle in the building. And as you can see today, man, I'm rolling solo today. Big shout out to Mr. Sample. Definitely gonna jump straight into disclaimer time. Basically letting you guys know that, hey, it's just the king up in here. Just want to talk about it. Just a few things in between the last show and the current one. You know how the spill go. We usually don't want no drama, no BS, no legal issues, none of the above. And why is that? It's for entertainment purposes only. But boy, oh boy, it's been heavy as of lately, man. It's been, definitely been on a roller coaster. Starting out in Georgia. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of this by now. Twin brothers, Qaadir and Naazir Lewis of Lawrenceville, Georgia, who was supposed to be visiting their friends in Boston. They're supposed to catch a flight out to Boston, but somehow, some way, they just ended up in Owasso, Georgia, and found shot to death, both of them. And and just to take you back, Owasso is considered to be one of those sundown towns in the state of Georgia. It's a little bit further west. I think it's towards the North Carolina border. And from my understanding, according to his family members, they don't have any. They never been out there. So why would they be at the top of a mountain out of all places? To die, be shot and died, and why would the cops just simply chalk it up as a murder-suicide when the twin brothers, they love each other? I don't even know how do they have firearms. I'm sure they didn't have firearms if they were going to take a flight to Boston. So explain that one. It was just so many questions when this came across my radar because of how quickly they wanted to dismiss it as a murder-suicide. Almost like the situation in Henderson, North Carolina, when the trucker who was last seen in Walmart all of a sudden just ends up, tied to a tree. Like, come on, what are you gonna do? Tie himself up to a tree and kill himself? Really? So yeah, this situation is eerily similar in that way. It's to me is just an attempt, not an attempt. They're trying to spark something. I don't know what it is. If it's a race war, they're definitely trying to spark it. Our people don't need the bite. But on that same note, protect yourself. That means if it come down to it, and you're in a situation to where you have to protect yourself, don't just go along the program. Just do whatever you had to do to protect yourself. You already know what it is. Whatever kind of heat you need, you definitely gonna need it. So. But yeah, I got so many questions about this situation. Like, did they take a Uber? I mean, they take an Uber to the airport? Just so many questions that don't make sense. It's making it now that so that you almost have to drop your loved one off personally at the airport or drive there and park. It just doesn't make any sense. So many questions, and for them to just try to dismiss it and hope that people will go along with the fact that it was a murder-suicide, not buying it at all. And especially after hearing the family speak and seeing the photos and seeing more, testimony, we know this is going to take some time, but I pray that they get the answers they're looking for and get the justice that they're looking for. There's too many ways to track folks down, whether it's cell phones. You can track them down that way, or if it was an Uber driver, you could track the path they took. It's just, I got so many question marks. Now, I'm on standby to just, hear what other details come out. So it's kind of hard to talk more about it without getting the detail. But one thing we know for sure Definitely trying to spark off a race war. And you look at the temperature of what's going on out there, you see that, on the website, this Vietnam veteran, Charles Calvin Rogers, all of a sudden his information is scrubbed from the website as a Vietnam vet. Well, he's a Medal of Honor winner. Why was he removed from the website? Knowing what kind of, what kind of backlash it would receive, and thankfully it received enough backlash that they put it back and let it resume. You just starting to see a lot of things that just don't make sense, and you see what they're trying to do as far as try to spark some type of a war, whether it's a race war or not. They're trying to spark something. They even scrubbed Medgar Evers information from, like, I want to say it's Tombstone or something like that, but they're trying to rewrite history. They're trying to scrub Black history from the military, history in general, to try to get just another attempt to try to get some type of reaction out of Black people, or people in color in general, but especially Black people, knowing everything we contributed to this country. So it just doesn't make any sense. And so, what you're starting to see now, especially in response to the Nazi situation that took place in Lincoln Heights, Ohio, a few weeks ago. Now, the people of the community starting to take a stand, as you can see behind me. They're starting to patrol their community, make sure their kids get back and forth to school safely. And I think it's necessary. One thing we've learned from all the communities that were, built by Black people in general, like Black Wall Street, like the original one in Durham, North Carolina, in the Hayti area. The Black Wall Street, the Lake Lanier, Oscarville down in Georgia, or we can go on and on as far as places that were built by black people. Their land was either burnt to the ground or taken from them, or had have a highway go through the community to destroy it. A lake, like the Lake Lanier situation, turned into a park, like Central Park in New York, which was Senecaville. There's so many stories we have like that it's sad. But at the same time, you have to learn from these situations. You got to protect yourself. This is a perfect example. No hate. You just got to learn how to speak the enemy's language. The whole marching and we shall overcome, that to me, that was never the way. Nah, there's no respect there. You're not going to get anything begging for someone to leave you alone. Nah, you got to match their energy to the point to where we got to sit eye to eye at the table and have a clear understanding that you take one of mine, I'm gonna take two of yours. It's just that simple. That's how you get respect. And it's just sad that we still going through this in these current day. So definitely would recommend folks that if you could, find out where your sundown towns are. Hell, I think they have apps now where you can find all the sundown towns, so that when you're traveling, you know not to go by these places, especially at night when they really come out and act up. So you got to protect yourself, and that's just where we at. No hate, just protect yourself. Learn from the mistakes our ancestors made, and just capitalize on it. Because as you can see, they're trying everything possible to stir it up. They're trying to bring down protections against having segregated facilities. Like you may very well see some establishments have, white only, and it's like, really? But I'm the type of person, I'm like, you know what? If that's how you feel, cool. We have a clear understanding. I'm not one to sit at no one's table and say, I'm gonna force you to serve me. Nah, that's it. That's just madness. Why would you force someone to feed you, or why would you even trust anything they serve you? So it's just doesn't make sense. You gotta know what the temperature is, and then just react. If you're not wanted somewhere, whether it's their schools, whether it's schools or restaurants or any other business, cool. We have a clear understanding. I won't bother you. I ain't got no problem. We won't have a problem. And it's sad, because I know good people of all walks of life, So, but you got to rock with folks who rock with you. And if you see people like this that's just trying to stir up hatred, just distance yourself from it, man. Let them crash out on their own. Get them their peace. Stay out their direction. As long as they show the same respect. You're not coming through our communities no more and just expect us to lay down and let you just run through it with some madness. Them days they over. Period. And it's not just black people. It's gonna be people of all walks that's gonna be like, hey, we had enough. So, but we definitely got to protect our own first. So it's crazy, it's sad, but hey, those are the times we're in right now. It really is. Now, something else that came to my attention, and I thought this didn't make any sense. Down here in North Carolina and Raleigh, in this day and age, it's nothing for a lot of kids have special needs, from whether autism or in the spectrum, Asperger's, and those kids you have to really pay attention to when you're taking them, to and from school, especially if you have a bus that they're relying on, or a bus system or transportation system that they're relying on. You're supposed to make sure that those kids are accounted for. So for the life of me, I can't understand why this fourth grader with special needs was left alone in an elementary school. Left alone. Joyner Magnet Elementary School. This kid was left alone. Now, keep in mind, he has special needs. So, hell, even for a kid without special needs, that's kind of gonna be like, oh my God, I'm left here at school alone. That could be challenging. Anything could have happened. Someone could have kidnapped him. Someone could have, hurt him, killed him. Anything could have happened. Thankfully, this child had enough sense to look at he FaceTimed his mom's. I don't know if he had to use his watch or a phone, but he FaceTimed his mom and said, "Hey, I'm at school alone." And like I say, you know how many steps you have to go through when you getting ready for carpool? This is supposed to be like a well-oiled machine to get kids prepared for carpool. Make sure everyone's accounted for. Hell, where was even the janitor? Where was the janitor at? How do you get to a point to where this kid is here and teachers have clocked out, administrators have clocked out, the janitor must have clocked out, and this kid is just sitting there in the classroom by himself? Please explain that. Like I said, this could have went south, but thank God this didn't nothing happened to him. But that's traumatic in itself. And he was sharp enough to make that FaceTime call, and now his mom's outraged, and rightfully so. I'd be pissed off too, because it's inexcusable, and she asked him, she asked her son, "You want to go back to school?" He was like, "No, I don't want to go back to school because they left me. They left me there by myself." Yeah, at this stage, man, he need to be homeschooled for quite some time. That right there, that just got me heated, man. It's so not fair. And the response from the school and administrators just, to me, is not just, we need to tighten up there. Basically the same old, we need to tighten up our procedures so this doesn't happen again. No, this is sickening. It should not have happened. So definitely gonna leave that alone, and definitely, keep my eyes on that situation, praying that, that this little fella can bounce back from this. Yeah. So I see that out there on the West Coast, usually you purchase a vehicle and most transactions are a smooth one. But at this CarMax over on the West Coast, I want to say it was in California. Um, Evidently, you know, this gentleman behind me, he must have had like some type of buyer's remorse or something. I don't know the details, but it's definitely the transaction happened, and I want to say he purchased it, but he must have had some type of buyer's remorse or just change of heart. And the dealership was just like, "Hey, car's yours. I'm sorry." He was like, and he pretty much had a fit, and he gave me a heads up. You know, I'll drive it through. I'll drive it through your front door. If you don't give me, basically, if you don't reverse the transaction. And as you can see, he drove right through that. Drove right through there. Now, of course, now he's gonna he ended up with some charges and ended up, being arrested. But I thought that, when you make a purchase like that, especially a big purchase like that, you can have some type of buyer's remorse and return it. Um, but who knows? I guess every state might be different. Who knows? Maybe some places once the ink is dry, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. But I had to look into that. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I wonder how that situation is going to pan out. I wonder, you know, maybe he can take the car back, but like I said, I don't know. Some places, once you sign that dotted line, it's a wrap. They ain't reversing nothing. Or it may be a situation that they say, okay, we'll give it back to you, but they just give it back to you for like, you won't get all your money back. You just get like a fraction of it back. So either way, this guy, he wilded out and drove through. Thank God he had no gun on him. He probably would have shot the salesman. So who knows, man? But they definitely did have some type of. And I want to say, I know with properties, if you can if you have like buyer's remorse, you can get it reversed over a certain period of time. I want to say 7 days, 3 days. I want to say 7 days, or like a week or something like that. But I had to look into it. But like I said, it could vary from each state. And some places may not let you do it at all. But either whatever the case may be, I guess he made sure whatever the difference was they tried to short him by, he made sure that he took it out on the windows he drove through and things he destroyed. So people might have got hurt too. So it's crazy, man. These people, boy, be on the edge. Don't push them. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. Yeah, but anyway. On to the next story. Now, it seems like drinking tap water, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us have done this, especially growing up. Tap water was like supposed to be the safest water you can drink. But it turns out scientists have discovered that tap water has a link to cancer. This is interesting because I remember getting a water softener like 20 plus years ago. And I remember during the presentation when they tested out my water, they were able to show me what impurities were in the water, and I paid attention enough to know that okay, there's some fact to this, and that the water was hard, and that's why our skin would be like almost like it's always extra ashy. I got the water softener, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made because I noticed a difference instantly. The carbon and salt the filtration that it went through. You could taste the difference. You can see the difference when you rinsed off in it. Your skin was like clear and soft. Over time, I also added a reverse osmosis to my to some of my sinks. Once the scientists talked about the link between cancer and tap water, they focus more on trihalomethanes, or better known as THMs. Now, this is a carcinogen that's found in the water, and if the levels are high enough, you can definitely trace a link to cancer. Like I said, I've added a reverse osmosis filter along with my water softener, and that's actually the two things they recommend. Or actually they recommend one or the other. I just happen to have both. So definitely get your water tested, get you a water softener or reverse osmosis and not expensive. Definitely worth your health. They're not expensive. To me, it's worth having good health and not have to worry about having THMs in your water. Last thing we want to deal with is cancer, but everything else that we have going on. So yeah, definitely thought that was interesting. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Like I said, I'm keeping it short and sweet so you can guys get on with the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, share with your folks. Know that we'll be back on next week. So yeah, you guys stay safe. Definitely be safe. Be careful with the water. Be careful with the racial temperature that's out there, and protect yourself. Please protect yourself.